Good morning, viewers. My name is Alhaji Ilyasu John. I'm your anchor person of Political Panorama this morning. I know a lot of you will be wondering the change of language for this program today. The reason for this is very simple. Our guest on the program today is a governorship aspirant who decided to speak in English today so that our non-Igala listeners can benefit from the program. He's contesting the governor of the state, and Kogi, like you know, is a multilingual state where we have other tribes like the Okun and the Ibira people. And as such, we choose to do the program in English today for the listening pleasure of our non-Igala viewers there at home. Like I used to tell you, I won't be letting the cat out of the bag until it is the time. You want to ask who? Be my guest. Political Panorama. Political Panorama, a live program on URTV. And my guest on the program today is a man you know very well, but in the interest of our new viewers, permit me to inform you that we have with us in the studio today His Excellency Engr Musa Wada. Your Excellency, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you, viewers. Happy to be with you once again.
Your Excellency, we wouldn't be taking much of your time because this is your period, the period of running up and down for electoral programs. You contested election in the 2019 general election for governorship in Kogi State. And there have been speculation that you come again and all of that until recently when you went to pick the form. Tell us, what is your new plan for the state?
You see, in the beginning, I came into this race to better the lots of my people. No personal interest. Like I've always said, there should be a dichotomy between service to one's fatherland and personal aggrandizement. Mine is purely service to the people and the land. And that's why you see, regardless of the expensive nature of electoral activities, people like us do our best always to be part of this process so that we can emancipate the people from the current trend in Kogi State. It's not new. Our state is very disadvantaged, principally because of lack of good leadership and greed on the part of the people who have been at the helm of affairs in that state.
Before we go into that, quickly, I want to lay a foundation. There's fundamentals of this issue. In the last election, you had a blueprint of what you want to do.
Yes.
Let us know. Are you standing on that same blueprint,
Yeah.
or you have another one, or what are you?
See, we really
maybe I'm saying, are you intending to do something new from your old blueprint, or you are standing on
the
that?
blueprint was well crafted and drafted, taking into consideration the peculiarities of Kogi State. It was not just written by an academic somewhere. I was fully involved in the drafting. Basically, the components are simple. Human capital development. What does that mean? The poverty rate in Kogi State is down, very much in the negative. Look at our health sector. Look at our general hospitals. Have you taken a look at those places? We're just surviving by the grace of God. And look at the educational sector. And then look at agriculture. Maybe the new thing you could say we introduced, which will be made public as soon as God gives us the mandate again, like He gave us last time, is the industrialization of the state. Because we now saw that there are a lot of mineral resources in Kogi State. Are you getting my point? And forget the limestone is there, Bajana cement is there, there's another cement at Alo. You forget, there are other mineral deposits, because gold in Kogi State. I think from my research, we have a lot of solid minerals in the state. So the addition may be a kind of policy which emphasizes industrialization to a large extent. Because we can't just depend on a civil service state, or you wait till when salary is paid. You see, Kogi is blessed with natural resources. And that is where we're going to expand in our blueprint compared to what we had earlier. Okay. If not, the blueprint is basically the same because it was well studied, drafted, and crafted to suit the people of this, to emancipate the people.
More on that, we'll get back to
harnessing the mineral resources of the state. But again, the party, you must emerge from your party level before we talk about general election. And from our finding, about 10 people picked the fund. Which
on 10 or 9, I don't know.
Within that region,
Okay.
10 within the cycle of 10 years. And which indicates that the primary election at your party level is going to be fierce. It's going to be
Very,
tough.
yeah.
How prepared are you? I mean, what do you think will give you an edge? How prepared are you for the primary?
Without sounding too optimistic, if it's in America now, I should have the right of first refusal. You see, one thing I do in my policy is that I try to be very confident, because I know the mission that is bringing me. It's not about myself, it's about the people. And it's a route I've passed before. It's just like a football pitch. When you play the lot of World Cup matches, you can never be afraid of any field, whether it's in Brazil or in Argentina. So I'm as confident as I used to be in 2019. And by the grace of God, I know in His infinite mercy and the will of the people, He will give me the mandate again. Why am I saying this? I think it was even tougher in 2019 than 2023, because when you look at the number of delegates, they were far larger because it's statutory, but this year is ad hoc. You understand? The last election, we had to traverse the whole nooks and cranny of the state. This time we'll be on the road from one local government to another. But there's a principle in the state politics now that no interference from the state caucus meeting. Nobody from one ward should interfere in another ward. So I can tell you confidently that there won't be any problem if there is no iota of manipulation in the whole process. Where there will be problem is if any manipulation is discovered, then you can't stand the litigations that will follow, which is the truth. I'm an apostle of fair, free, and credible election, be it at the primary level or at the general election.
Sorry, sir. Looking detailed into the structure of the state.
Yes.
By nature, I would say,
Yes.
we are married of different tribal background.
Yeah.
Where you have the Okun, the Ebira, and the Igala people. And our political ideologies tend to go along this tribal line. As a leader, as an aspirant, what are you planning to do to unite us, despite our tribal differences?
You see, if you look at Kogi politics, I think this tribal difference we are talking is not as much as we are emphasizing. And I'll tell you something. From the last primaries, I can comfortably tell you that the figures that gave me victory came from, the figure that propelled me to victory came from the other parts of Kogi State. Because we had traversed the whole length and breadth, sold myself to them. In short, one advantage I have today in this context is that I'm more familiar with the political class in Kogi State, from west to east and central. I'm a more familiar face than most of the people contesting with me today. And it gave me time to study them very well, that especially some side of the state, like Kogi West, you have to sell yourself properly to them. They want to know your plans and intentions for the state. And in Igala land too, where many contested, let's be fair to them, they are not as tribalist as people think. They listen to me very well, so that I was actually coming to serve them, not because I'm an Igala man. They saw a difference in me, that this Igala coming means well, not because I'm Igala, that's why they were going to vote for me. You can understand what I'm saying. And the Oku people, to a large extent, Ogormagungu, Mopa, all these places, I know how sizable votes from them during the primary. So I want to de-emphasize the fact that there is a kind of division, or, of course, where there are three major tribes, there's bound to be competition about power shift. But we cannot run away from the fact that in politics, majority will have their way, but the minority will have their say. It's a matter of negotiation. Igala is large in the state, but by natural causes, and Ipirama has been ruling the state for the last 8 years, which has even balanced the equation to a large extent. Am I making a point? So I want to emphasize that what to bring the next candidate out is not exactly where you come from, is the track record you have, how you have sold yourself to the people, how you appeal to them. So to me, I don't think the disunity they are talking in Kogi is overemphasized. I don't think it's there like that, because you have a large literate population. And to be fair to you, this coming primaries is just going to have about 717 delegates ad hoc. And I think most people that will emerge as delegates will be very lettered, learned people who will not just go for the crumbs you are giving them for them to vote for you.
That reminds me, sir, delegate election, as we know traditionally,
Yeah.
though there's a new electoral act, the emphasizing vote buying and the role of money in politics.
Yes.
But traditionally, as it is, we cannot totally divorce that. In case, well, I'm not saying it's going to be the order of the day, but in case it becomes money where the highest bidder take the delegates, do you have that muscle?
Do you know my answer to this? Where money does not talk, that is one proverb. And nobody does politics alone. And your worth in politics is not the money in your bank account, it's your network. And I think network God has given me. I was not the richest when I contested in 2019 before I won. It is the network of people who gave me support, not only financially. You know, support comes in different ways. People can be canvassing for you in your absence. And a lot of people, if you see, let me give you an example. You may bring 10,000 to win votes. I may bring 5,000 and they'll vote for me more than you. Do you understand? That is the experience in politics. If you put your hope on just money, I can tell you, my brother, you are heading for a very, very strong failure. It's about, see, first, basically, yes, money plays a very, very important role in politics, especially with the bad economy. But see, I'm not just coming for the first time.
Then finally, sir, to save your time, I don't want you to go deep into that more than this.
Yes.
Finally, if by the grace of God you emerge your party flag bearer after the primary election, there are two aspects I would want to see how prepared you are again. Violence was part of the reason why you lost the last election. It was one of the factors that militated against you then. In case you win the primary election now, are you prepared? Can you still face the same opposition that...
Can I give you a straight answer here?
Yeah.
I have to correct an impression. I won the last election. I was just cheated. And I want to correct another erroneous impression that I didn't go to campaign in Central. I didn't campaign in Central because we had an intel. And don't forget that the chairman of the party and most leaders are from that side. We had an intel that because of the attack of the governor in Kogi East in Angba, we were ready to move in. But they said, if I am, say, what of our supporters? Are you getting my point? And that if one person is killed, if I enter, that some people could take law into their hands. Assuming I go and the last vehicle in my convoy is attacked and just a single person dies, is a campaign, is it worth it? And I've said earlier that my election is not worth the blood of any human being. May the soul of the burnt woman in Ofu local government rest in peace, Mrs. Achijo Abu. You see, the new electoral act does not give room for the kind of violence we had in 2019. Am I making a point? Because one, there will never be room for you to have incident from where you go and write the result. There won't be room to go to one collation center and change result or shoot to waste votes. So the electoral act has taken care of anything violence in the coming election. Except people don't know. There won't be room for talk, because as a talk, if you come and destroy any polling unit, the votes of whoever you're supporting is affected, and they'll cancel the result and possibly sanction anybody behind you coming to practice talkery there. So there won't be room, except people are not educated enough to know that this electoral act does not give room for any thuggery, any misuse of resources to woo people, Are you getting my point? From the financial policy and the new electoral act, there won't be room for what happened in 2019. And even at that, I won the election. I was just won by federal might, state structure, and the 40 electorate we had in position then. So I'm more confident now than even 2019.
Then conclude, sir, by a little word of appreciation to your teaming supporters across the state, from the west, from the central, from the east, and all around the country, even those that are not in the state but throw in their support from outside. Conclude by some words of appreciation to your supporters.
God bless all of you. You supported me wholeheartedly, the masses, in 2019. You came out to vote for us without spending the money the ruling party spent. You took their money in some cases, voted your conscience. In some cases, you didn't take their money, you voted for us. And I think the situation today should encourage you to even vote them out more than in 2019, because you can see the suffering in Kogi State. It's so disheartening, it's so unacceptable, it's so ungodly, it's so inhuman. And that's exactly what we are coming to change. We're not coming to take the little there. In short, we're coming to make sure that we think out of the box to better the lots of all failing indices in Kogi State.
Thank you, sir. Before I go, one very important issue, very, very important in the coming election. And look at it that the success of whoever emerged in PDP in Kogi State depend largely on the success of the presidential candidate.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think Atiku can win Kogi being an opposition, an APC state with APC governor? Do you see Atiku winning in Kogi State?
Can I correct an impression?
Okay.
Kogi is not an APC state. Kogi is a PDP state.
But APC is ruling currently.
Yeah, they are ruling. How did they come to rule? Through rigging, incident form, and maladministration. So how popular? Didn't you say a rally in Aimba? Does it give you an example of a place that has a government in place? Are you getting my point? So number one, Kogi is a PDP state. The maladministration, the poverty that has been visited on the people are so impatient to vote them out. So yes, the success of our presidential candidate, inshallah, of course, definitely by from the rallies, from the campaign, I'm talking confidently on the order of God that Atiku is the next president of Nigeria. Even at that, even if not president, God forbid, don't forget that the people have suffered enough. We are not afraid whether the APC becomes president of Nigeria. In a free and fair process, PDP governorship candidate will win Kogi State come 2023.
Viewers, this is the much you can take on Political Panorama this morning. And our guest on the program is Engr Musa Wada. And from him, you've heard his plan for the state if, by the grace of God, he becomes the governor of the state. Quickly before we go, let me quickly inform you that there are 9 other persons, apart from Engr Musa Wada, that have picked the PDP form for the governorship race. 3 from the west and 7 from Kogi East. One after the other, we shall be bringing them to you on this program, Political Panorama, so that you hear from them their plan for the state. The era of anybody coming from anywhere to become governor is gone. My name is John, the anchor person on the program Political Panorama from the station of URTV. You have a pleasant day.
Mete negbi na bayo memele me wakalo tubo ibo. URTV, URTV, menawa URTV, menawa kalo ina bali ogeta yobuba I eyola ukola eyi etete menawa kalo tubo ibo. URTV, menawa URTV, ibo mi kala URTV, menawa Edunyi medododa Menawa You are TV adukola pogo Ukole ki wanugbo Ekumeneju meliba Kumeneti megbo Menawa kalo tubo You are TV Selemabo igala Nebukolo jamalia Ukole iyogu Mayuche iyogu You are TV Amadou Kolen Yokpogo.